Need to know what the weather is? Stop depending on an inaccurate app. Home weather stations record data several times per minute, providing a much more detailed look into the whims of Mother Nature than your phone or the local news can. A typical home weather station includes a shoebox-sized sensor suite, called an ISS, integrated sensor suite, placed outside in an open area. This will require a sturdy mounting location free of any obstructions. Many also include a tablet-sized desktop console display that allows you to view collected information. Not all weather stations have consoles, however. Some manufacturers opt for a mobile app or website for access to your data, which require a connection to the internet. Number 1. WeatherFlow Tempest Weather Station. WeatherFlow has extensive experience in weather stations, having built a network of coastal weather stations that are invaluable in tracking coastal storms and hurricanes. The Tempest is the company's first home weather station. For the most part, this unit is a decent starting point. Powered entirely by the sun, it has no moving parts, the rain gauge is a haptic sensor on the top, and wind speed and direction are measured sonically. Lightning detection is also the best for any personal weather station I've tested. The Tempest can also trigger your smart home devices thanks to support for IFT, a smart home automation service. Other than some accuracy issues with the haptic rain gauge, it's among the best on the market. Number 2. Ambient Weather WS2902 Weather Station. When it comes to value, you can't get much better than the Ambient Weather WS2902. Now in its 5th update, the station is easier than ever to install, thanks to an upgraded in-app setup process. Also new as of the last generation is a better console, which is easier to see compared to earlier versions that weren't readable unless you were looking at it head-on. While it has no lightning detection capabilities, it is everything else the WeatherFlow Tempest does at a significantly lower price. I was shocked at how accurate the sensors are for a budget weather station. It's almost as good as some higher tier options. Sure, it isn't expandable and needs batteries for the sensor suite, but the price makes up for that. If you don't need all the bells and whistles of a home weather station, the Lacrosse C858545INT is a great alternative. The sensor only tracks temperature-related data, such as heat index, humidity, and dew point. That means no records on rainfall or wind, but this data is less crucial if you're not caring for a garden or farm. The C85845INT also can't connect to an app or your smart speaker. Number 3. La Crosse Technology C85845INT. If you don't need all the bells and whistles of a home weather station, the La Crosse C858545INT is a great alternative. The sensor only tracks temperature-related data, such as heat index, humidity, and dew point. That means no records on rainfall or wind, but this data is less crucial if you're not caring for a garden or farm. The C85845INT also can't connect to an app or your smart speaker. Instead, all your data lives on a full-color LCD screen housed in a 9x5.4-inch display, the largest here. The already bright screen has backlighting for nighttime use and other dark conditions. The console and the sensor are battery-operated, and an indicator on the display lets you know when it's time to swap in a fresh set. Number 4. Netatmo Weather Station. The base Netatmo weather station model includes 2 sensors, a battery-operated outdoor tower that tracks temperature, humidity, and barometric pressure, and an AC-powered indoor one that goes beyond competitors to keep an eye on CO2 and sound levels. All these measurements were generally accurate in my test, although you must purchase the compatible rain gauge and anemometer separately. This makes the Netatmo more expensive than many of our recommendations. But if you use Apple HomeKit, it's one of the few home weather stations to support the technology. There's also no console. All of your data is only accessible through the Netatmo Weather app or its website, but both are well designed with easy access to historical data and graphing tools. You can also pair the Netatmo with Amazon and Apple smart speakers and request weather reports from Alexa or Siri. Number 5. Ambient Weather WS5000 Weather Station. The Ambient Weather WS5000 is one of the most fully featured weather stations on the market. While it doesn't include a lightning detector in the base package, you can add 1.5 dozen other optional sensors. All the sensors I tested were accurate, although all the optional sensors require batteries, so that's something to keep in mind. The biggest thing going against the WS5000 is its price. At one point, this station was just $300, making it a bargain. Now at $450, it is pretty expensive, even with longer range connectivity between the station and your sensors. But it's worth the money if you'd like to track more than the standard weather measurements. The Ambient Weather WS5000 Ultrasonic Smart Weather Station is the most sophisticated home and light industrial weather station we have ever created. This vibrant, dynamic LCD display is easy to read day or night, features a light or dark colored background, and automatically controlled brightness settings based on time of day. Connect additional displays, sold separately.